Yeah, obviously a gut-wrenching loss, to say the least. Thanks to our fans, they were unbelievable today. I mean, it was hard to hear throughout the game. What an environment. Coming down Bluff Road when we got here, coming into the game, seeing all the cars with Gamecock flags up and down Bluff Road, all the people holding their hands out the window with the Spurs Up sign. They were awesome. Really proud of our team and how they played today. It's not a surprise. I mean, I knew we would. That's who we are. That's the culture in this football program right now. That the culture in our program is stronger than ever, and it was on display today. Give Alabama credit, to be down on the road going into the fourth quarter by 8 points and to do what they did in the fourth quarter, give them credit. I just told our team in the locker room, we got to finish. We're got an 8-point lead at home. Crowd is losing their minds in there. It's electric. And we got to go finish. And we didn't finish, and they did. So that's a hurt locker room in there, as you can imagine. Proud of our guys, the way they played inspired football today. We're going to be sick when we watch this tape, just missed opportunities that we had. And we talked to them I talked to them at the hotel before we came over here about the 2010 game when we beat Alabama here and they were number one in the country. And we talked about all the great players in that game that just made so many individual plays. The catch that Alshon Jeffrey made on the Alabama sideline that everybody always, you still see all the time, and he made with a one-handed catch, and the way Marcus Lattimore and Steven Garcia played that day, and Stephon Gilmore and all those guys. We talked about it at the hotel that's what won that game that day, team football, and that's what was going to win the game today, offense, defense, and special teams, team football, and that we were going to have a lot of guys make a lot of just great individual plays. And we had a lot of guys that did that, but we had a lot of opportunities that we missed, too, of plays that were there to be made that we didn't make for whatever reason. So disappointing finish. Again, thanks to the fans. Know our guys will respond the right way. We get to go compete again next Saturday in Mississippi, and know we got a big challenge, and we'll get right back to work. Tomorrow, just a couple things before opening it up for questions. I want to send my prayers to Jay Phillips from 1075. I know he's getting ready to go third. Going through a tough time and has got a battle in front of him, but I know that Jay's getting ready to kick the butt of cancer here going forward. Also want to send my prayers to the family of Doyle McBride. He was a great Gamecock that, back when I was here as an assistant coach, he used to take Coach Spurrier and the assistant coaches on a golf trip in February down to the Dominican Republic every year, and was a great friend when I was an assistant coach here, and was a great friend still when I came back as the head coach. Just the sweetest man, and he passed away this week. Thinking of him, and definitely want to shout out, I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but Gabrielle Brault. She is a honors college student here at Carolina. She's a junior. She was studying abroad earlier this year, and while she was studying abroad, was diagnosed with a very, 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 very aggressive form of cancer. Had to drop out of school and do everything online as she fights this battle. She's celebrating her 21st birthday today or tomorrow, and was here in attendance. So it's what Gamecock Nation's about, that somebody that's truly fighting for their lives right now, a junior in college that should be up in the cockpit with all her friends. And thanks to them today, the cockpit was awesome. Instead, she's fighting for her life, but still wanted to come down here for her 21st birthday and watch the Gamecocks play. So wish we'd have been able to get a win for her on her 21st birthday tomorrow. But thinking of you, Gabrielle. And with that, I'll be glad to take any questions.
Shane Lenoris has always been so steady in his demeanor. Any change in him locker room? What do you say to him after that kind of play?
I didn't talk to him just now in the locker room. I mean, when they broke the run at the end, we let them score so we could get the ball back. And I went up to him on the sideline and I told him, look, we just let them score so you get an opportunity to go win this thing. And that's not, what happened. And when it was 22-all, I told Mike on the headphones, in my mind, we got the best player in the stadium today, and let's let him go win it. And we just weren't quite able to do that.
Shane, you talk about the plays that are going to be just hard to watch on film. You got the phase on with the interception, and then Tree on the holding. I mean, just how tough are those plays for those guys? And what do you kind of say to them after that type of what happened there?
I told Tree that's a tough call. You guys saw it better than I did. Looked like he was in pretty good position and looked like one of the greatest NBA players that flops at times in the lane. Maybe he didn't, but I thought Tree was in pretty good position. Maybe not, but that's what I told Tree, just being honest with him. I told Sewell when it happened that, look, 7 points ain't going to win this thing, and we're going to need you to come back and carry this thing today and help us go win this game as the game went. And, we had a lot of great individual plays today, Jack, but we had a lot of plays where we just, we missed opportunities of just, we all week long we've been talking about the old adage, practice execution equals game day reality. And what we did in practice just needed to carry over to the game today, and plays that guys made in practice all week, we just missed them today and didn't make enough. But that's what I told those guys. Same thing with Joyce. He missed a kick earlier, but I told him, you're gonna have to make some. You're gonna make some to win it. And even after he made the one to take the lead, told him that you're gonna have to probably make another one here to help us win this thing too. So that's what I did.
It seemed like the offense and Lenoris were moving the pocket more, and he was getting out into space and stuff. What kind of wrinkles did you guys put in this last week to give yourself a chance to win today?
We talked about just that we needed to, it's easy to say simplify, but we were probably less volume in the game plan today, just because I told Mike and the offensive coaches, we ain't going to out-scheme Alabama. Let's get whatever our best freaking stuff is schematically, and let's get it in the game plan and figure out who our best players are and just feature our best plays and our best players over and over and over again. And I don't care if we have 10 plays in the game plan, just run those 10 over and over again. So we tried to really dial in, and not we do that every week. So it's not, Shane took till game 8 to figure that out. No, we do that every week, or 7, whatever today was. But really just kind of trying to condense on what we're doing. We wanted to be able to, spread them out a little bit more with a few more open sets, whether it be empty or 2x2 open, 4 wides, whatever you want to call it, just to kind of spread them out and bring less people into the box for our offensive line and tight ends to have to block. We wanted to be able to, run him. We threw a couple wrinkles in there with just some formations and run schemes. And then we wanted to, I told Mike earlier in the week, look, if we drop back 25, or if we throw 25 passes today, it doesn't need to be 20 just sit in the pocket and drop back. We need to be able to move the pocket. We need to throw screens. We need to be able to get the ball out of his hands quickly, that we got playmakers at the receiver position and tight end position and running back, and we need to be able to, sit in the pocket and throw the ball downfield at times, but we also got to be able to just get the ball out of his hands quick and get them in space and make people have to, deal with us.
There were a handful of decisions where you could kick or go for it, or like on the first drive, the field goal that was missed. And looking back at any of those decisions, are you good with the decisions that were made? Obviously, hindsight, you can second guess.
Yeah, it's hard to say right now, Hale, when we just lost the game. Surely, we missed a field goal. I'd love to say, well, I wish I'd gone for it and gotten the 4th down. Of course, but I felt good about getting points right there. That was well within his range. We missed the field goal. And, but no, I thought getting points was big there, and we were in range and knew it was going to be a 4-quarter game, and points were at the premium.
Just to clarify, was it let the Alabama players score no matter what, or
if he got the first down? Same scenario as last year. Like if you look back at the game last year, they really shouldn't have scored the touchdown. If you remember that play, they scored on 4th down. We busted the coverage. Like the only reason that we had a drive to throw to Nick and a onside kick was because they scored and gave us the ball back. So what we said, I wanted them to kick us. Well, I used my timeouts. I wanted them to kick a 40-something yard field goal. But we said if they get the first down, we need to let them score, because otherwise they're just going to run the clock down and basically kick an extra point to win the game.
Coach, defensively, Ty Simpson probably looked about as uncomfortable as he has in any game all season long. What did you like from your defensive front and your secondary being able to get a hand on a lot of those passes?
Yeah, you talk about, individual efforts. I mean, there were just so many guys up front. I mean, Monkel Goodwin thought he played his rear end off. This game was important to him, being at Alabama. Sean Murphy, another one from Alabama. Colin Bryant covering kicks. He transferred from Alabama. J.O. coming from Alabama. I mean, we had a bunch of guys with Alabama ties that this game was important to and hurt for them like I do the rest of our team. But I thought Monkel and Nick up front were really disruptive and did a great job. And we were confident coming into the game. No disrespect to, any team that they had played, but we really felt like we would present them some problems. And that if you look just statistically in the SEC at pass defense, we statistically, I think, were better in pass defense than anybody they had played. So we liked our matchup out there. I mean, we didn't do anything different defensively. We wanted to heat him up a lot and put pressure on him and stop the run, and we did that. I mean, they had 2 yards rushing at halftime, and we did a nice job stopping the run and keeping him in the pocket and missed a couple sacks that turned into big plays. But, proud of the way those guys played up front.
I know you haven't had a chance to look through and review any of the film from tonight, but just off the top of your head, is there anything that you think needs to be changed going into your next game, throughout practice, in the game plan? What are you thinking just right now?
I'm thinking we need to finish in the fourth quarter. When you got an 8-point lead at home and you got a team on the ropes, you got to put them away. And we didn't. We had an 8-point lead, and we allowed them to go, whatever it was, 80 yards down the field and convert some third downs. And we did not play well on offense, defense, or special teams in the fourth quarter. And that's disappointing because one of our keys every single week is to dominate the fourth quarter. And I don't know what the record is. He's the guru, but our record's pretty freaking good around here when we're leading going into the fourth quarter. And disappointing that we didn't finish today.
Shane, you've had to deal with a lot of tough things this year, and I know at times you probably had the world on your shoulders. How do you personally cope with the things you've had to deal with?
Yeah, it's hard. I meant what I said Tuesday in the press conference as the head coach and the leader of this program. I feel like I'm letting a lot of people down. And I know today let a lot of people down that we weren't able to get this win because our players put so much into it, and I wish I had something I could say to them to make it better. I know our fans hurt, but I just told the team in the locker room, Dick, like it's been a tough year, and that weighs heavily on me as the leader of the program. And but I don't see my family much during the week because I'm in the facility, which sucks. But outside of seeing my family when I come home at night, if they're still awake, the best part of my day is the 4 hours that I get to spend with the players when they come in our building. And they're just an awesome group of kids, and I really hurt for them. But I love coaching them. I love spending time with them. And I realize that everybody is, looking to me as the head football coach. So I know if it's weighing on me, then I'm not doing my best to help them. So as I look at it, I'm the leader of the program, and I've got to be strong. And one of the things that I'm doing right now with a group of friends is we're in a 2-year couple group of friends outside the program. We're in a 2-year project of reading the Bible from start to finish. So shout out to Coach McDonald, the Louisville baseball coach, for giving me the push to do that. And it's been awesome where I read that. And one thing that we talked about this week in the lesson was, throughout the Bible, and I understand not everybody in here is people of faith, but throughout the Bible, there's great stories of leaders showing leadership. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I know all the haters on social media are going to be like, look at Beamer. He's comparing himself to Moses leading the people across the Red Sea. That's not what I'm doing. But it was a great lesson that there's great leadership, leaders show leadership in that time. And I'm just trying to, be the same person and be consistent and stay positive and show great leadership to, to our people in our program right now.
Coach, offensive line has been a hot topic. 5 sacks and 6 sacks in the previous 2 games, only 2 today. I know you haven't watched the film back yet, but your immediate reaction to the O-line. Do you see it as an improvement, and what did you think of their performance?
Our offensive line with sacks. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Our offensive line, I thought they were better. There was a play right before the half that we turned a guy free that was not on the offensive line. So don't write your articles about the offensive line turning a guy free, because that wasn't the offensive line. And that was just one of our guys on offense not doing their job. And so we've got to continue to help our offensive line. There were some plays certainly that they'd like to have back, but I thought they did a pretty good job today against a good front four. You know, one of the ways that you needed to win the game against Alabama was control the clock. I talked about that with you guys this week. I mean, their time of possession going into these last 4 games was like, whatever it is, 32 minutes every game. And we controlled it for 33. At halftime, we had the ball for 20 minutes compared to 10 or whatever it was. So, I mean, we controlled the drive. We just got to finish. We got to finish. But, yes, I thought the offensive line did a nice job for the most part today. And good tough running, too. I mean, you talk about individual efforts. There was some good tough running by some of those running backs coming in there on some of those third down situations and fighting for tough yardage to get the first down.
Go to Lulu, and Jack be the last one.
Hi, Lulu.
This might be kind of a silly question, but I know that programs and coaches kind of have rules of like 24 hours losses out of your mind. I guess, is there any benefit, or maybe not benefit, but do you bring up or kind of look at like, hey, you don't want to feel this feeling again? I know it was a lot of execution and you recognize just not playing well in the fourth, but the kind of feeling of heartbreak, does it have value motivation-wise going forward?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, we've been heartbroken after every game because no matter how we played in these losses that we've had, we've truly expected to win every game and expected to win, and we're really hurt when we didn't. And this one really, really, really hurts when you got the number 4 team in the country on the ropes at home, and you let it get away from you. There's a lot of hurt. So, yeah, they don't want to feel this feeling again. But to me, if we don't want to feel this feeling again, let's figure out how to make more plays in the fourth quarter and not let it come down to where, they make more plays than we do.
Shane, you said it earlier this week. You guys came into this game really, really healthy. One, how much did that help throughout the game with having so many of those guys that you guys were missing back? And 2, are there any injury updates on any guys that might be banged up or anything?
Yes, it helped having those guys back because we were healthier than we have been on offense and defense. So that was huge just from a depth standpoint to be able to rotate some people in there. And I know we had the 5 offensive linemen, but I looked in there and we had rotated. I know I saw Nick Sharp in there in the second half, and we rotated some guys in there. So it helped from a health standpoint, no question about it, to only have Case and Henry out today that had started a game. I think we came out of it okay. We lost Mo Brown, which you guys know what a weapon he is on special teams. We lost him to an upper body injury, I think, on the first punt when they punted. And so he didn't play the whole game, which is a big loss because he's such a weapon he's a starter on every special team that we have. And then we wanted to be able to get him going a little bit more today on offense too, just, being able to get us, 10, 15 plays in there. So we lost some of that from a tight end standpoint. And then certainly we lost our best special teams player. So that was tough. But other than that, I think we came out of it pretty healthy.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.